When Maribel Finch unlocked the wrought iron gates of Ellery Library at 6 o'clock on Thursday morning, the cold autumn air smelled of wood smoke and damp leaves. Ellery, the oldest building on the grounds of Whitcomb University, normally rested in a hush broken only by the ticking of its brass clock. Today, though, Whitcomb's famous brass clock was competing with another sort of clamour. The tapping of caterers' shoes, florists calling measurements across the marble foyer, and the occasional squeak of rolling wine barrels. In less than 14 hours, the annual alumni fundraiser Gala would unfold beneath the soaring stained glass ceiling of the reading hall, the same hall that had cradled generations of scholars for a century and a half. Maribel, assistant librarian turned acting archivist for the event, patted the pocket of her cardigan, where the archival vault key rested on a knitted lanyard. Tonight's centrepiece was to have been the Northland Survey, a hand-drawn 1783 map of the untamed New England coastline, reputed to bear annotations by John Quincy Adams. Whitcomb's Advancement Office, in its infinite flair, planned to project a magnified image of the parchment onto silk banners, then auction a private behind-the-ropes viewing to the deepest pockets in attendance. Donations were already pledged in the 6 figures, provided the map appeared, intact, beneath its antique oval glass. "Morning, Miss Finch," called Benny Greer, a sophomore work-study student who greeted her from atop a stepladder. He wobbled while adjusting a swag of ivy along a stone lion's head. "Did you bring the famous treasure?" "It's safe and sound in the vault," Maribel replied, giving the key a reassuring tap. "We'll mount it in the case after lunch, once the humidity stabilizes." Benny sighed. "Dr. Quill has been pacing since dawn, says his reputation is on the line." Dr. Percival Quill, head of rare books and manuscripts, possessed a white goatee as sharp as his opinions. He burst from his office just then, cheeks flushed. "Miss Finch, a word, alone." Maribel followed him through an archway scented faintly of lemon polish and old leather. Inside, Quill's office resembled a Victorian curiosity cabinet. He motioned to a velvet chair. "You took possession of the map last night?" he demanded. "As planned," she answered. "Filed condition report, sealed it in box 7A, rack 4, all by protocol." Quill nodded, but worry clouded his grey eyes. The president of the university invited trustees from 3 continents. If anything goes wrong— "Nothing will," Maribel promised, though anxiety prickled at her. By 9:30, the catering director had commandeered the foyer. The florist had turned the card catalogue into a makeshift vase stand, and Ellery Library was a beehive. Still, Maribel found a bubble of quiet in the subterranean vault, where stone walls muffled the world. She scanned each row until she reached rack 4, box 7A, top shelf. The linen tape she had tied in a square knot remained undisturbed. Satisfied, she locked the gate, then climbed 2 granite flights back to the public floors. At 11, trouble arrived. Maribel was guiding a pair of electricians around the reading hall when Benny sprinted across the parquet. "Miss Finch, come quick!" She hurried along a narrow staircase to the vault again. This time, as soon as the heavy door swung inward, she felt frigid air gush past her ankles. And there, between rack 3 and 4, the cage's stainless steel links hung open. She rushed to box 7A. The lid lay crooked. Inside was nothing but an empty mylar sleeve. Her stomach dropped as if she'd misstepped on a broken stair. Benny whispered, "Who even knows the combination?" "Only Dr. Quill and I," Maribel answered, heart hammering. "And facilities, for emergencies." She shut her eyes, tried to replay each moment of the morning. She had locked the gate, yes, But had she tested it? She must have. Surely she had. "Call campus security," she said. Within minutes, Officer Darlene Pike, friend to the library staff, known for knitting bookmarks during night shifts, arrived, notebook in hand. She took statements, placed evidence markers around the vault, and examined the electronic lock's printout. Vault opened at 6:30 p.m. last night, closed at 6:35, Officer Pike read aloud. Next entry today at 9:20 a.m. by Finch, 9:30 exit, then again at 11:05, entry by Finch and Mr. Greer. She frowned. No unauthorized code used. "But the gate inside was open," Maribel said, pointing at the rattling chain. Pike retrieved a magnifier from her breast pocket, peered at the padlock. Picked, most likely. Someone got in here between 9:30 and 11. Fingerprint powder will confirm. Quill barreled into the vault, face pale. "We're ruined," he said, voice cracking. "Without the map, the Gala falls apart, and the dean will reassign our entire department to digital initiatives." "We'll find it," Maribel insisted, though her mouth had gone desert dry. The news spread through the library in whispers carried on drafts of air, the way every secret in Ellery travelled. By lunch, a gaggle, event planner Rosalind McKee, advancement director Neil Forsyth, facilities supervisor Gus Moran, and flamboyant alumnus Ambrose Talcott, class of 73, top hat included, clustered in the north alcove, trading theories. "I swear none of my crew touched a thing," Rosalind announced, arms folded over a clipboard. "We've been up here, not down there." Neil bobbed his head like a wind-up pigeon. "Donors will bolt. Tonight's program books already reference the map 15 times. Ambrose twirled his cane. "Some of us gave our Friday nights to the rowing team for that cursed bit of parchment. What's the university doing about security?" His voice echoed off gold leaf. Maribel, catching fragments of conversation, slipped away. Instinct told her the answer lay not in administrative hand-wringing, but in careful observation of the building she loved. She returned to the vault entrance where Pike dusted for prints. "Nothing clean," the officer said. "Just smudges and a faint residue of lavender oil?" Maribel's ears perked up. Lavender. Earlier, while passing the staff break room, she had noticed the same botanical scent. She pressed Pike's arm. "Who on staff favours lavender?" the officer thought, then shrugged. Plenty of people, popular fragrance. Maribel decided to follow the smell. Might as well start somewhere. She passed through corridors layered in hush, pausing outside the break room. A tiny diffuser puffed a ribbon of purple vapour into the air. Next to it sat a mug etched with the words, "World's Best Preservationist." It belonged to Dr. Elsa Wainwright, Whitcomb's paper conservationist, who only yesterday had lamented budget cuts to her lab. Elsa appeared seconds later, curly hair escaping its bun, arms full of foam boards. "Oh, Maribel, have you heard the chaos? Dreadful, dreadful. You're working today." "Volunteered to mount the donor plaques. They refused to hire a professional matting service," Elsa sniffed. "If we can't care for treasures properly, maybe they shouldn't be displayed at all." A curious remark. Maribel tucked it away. Back in the reading hall, Benny adjusted a candelabra centerpiece while eavesdropping on Ambrose Talcott, who bragged he had once sailed the same coast the Northland Survey depicted. According to him, secret British forts still dotted the inlets, visible only to eyes trained in cartography. Maribel noticed Benny's cheeks redden when Ambrose teased the younger man's shaky ladder skills. Benny muttered an apology and scurried off. She wondered if resentment brewed beneath that meek exterior. At 2, facilities supervisor Gus Moran, led Maribel to a maintenance stairwell. "Thought you should know, ma'am. Window back here was unlatched," he said, pushing open a metal door. Cool air rushed in. The stairwell's narrow window framed the river that ran along campus's eastern boundary. A slender maple limb scraped the sill. Could be how someone slipped in. She peered down. Muddy footprints dotted the concrete landing, dried at the edges. "Workers?" she asked. Moran shook his head. "No crew uses this stairwell today. I locked it last night." Maribel crouched, touched one footprint lightly. The shape was narrow, the heel selective. Maybe a dress shoe, not a boot. The mud contained flecks of gold leaf. Her stomach fluttered. Gold leaf was applied to the picture frames greeting guests at the main entrance, an area overseen by Rosalind McKee, event planner extraordinaire. Another note for the mental ledger. By 3:30, the library resembled a theatre minutes before curtain. Yet beneath the velvet runners and flickering candles, tension lurked. Donor relations staff whispered that some alumni were already cancelling dinner seats. The dean arrived with furrowed brow and left after a terse conversation with Quill. Maribel ducked into her small fifth-floor office, a crow's nest with a view of the quadrangle's bronze statue. She spread her clues across the desk. Lavender residue, budget complaints, mud with gold leaf, open window, a cane-swinging alumnus, an annoyed student worker, Dr. Quill's reputation at stake. One thing nagged her. The thief must know how to handle fragile parchment. Otherwise, they risked damaging the very object they coveted. She paged through the sign-in sheet for the vault, though access had been restricted. Someone might have scouted earlier in the week. Halfway down Monday's column, a neat signature caught her eye. Ambrose Talcott. Reason: Pre-Gala Nostalgia Tour. Counter-signature: Dr. Quill himself. Dr. Quill believed fervently in courting donors. Had he allowed Talcott a too close peek? Furthermore, Quill had the combination, same as she. Could he have staged a theft to inflate drama and donations? Maribel didn't want to think ill of her mentor, but cosy mysteries in real life rarely turned tidy. She decided fresh air might unknot her mind. Exiting through the staff door, she nearly collided with Rosalind McKee, who yelped, dropping a roll of event tickets. Out wafted the same lavender note, stronger than the break rooms. "Lavender again," Maribel murmured aloud. Rosalind laughed nervously. "Essential oil keeps me calm. Planning parties is war." She bent to retrieve the tickets. Maribel helped, noting smudges of something gold on Rosalind's cuff. "You're gilding frames yourself?" Maribel asked. "Budget cuts, darling," Rosalind sighed. "It's leaf adhesive, not gold, unfortunately. Hard to wash out." Maribel's mind spun. Mud with gold flecks, or adhesive flakes that resembled gold. The window near the maintenance stair opened onto the quad, where Cranston Hall was undergoing facade restoration. Its forecourt was a patchwork of adhesive-coated tarps. She needed confirmation. She descended to the basement work sink and ran water over her fingers, then sprinkled in adhesive powder from the sample jar she kept for conservation workshops. Mixed with dirt, the solution formed gritty golden specks like those on the footprint. Perhaps the intruder, after climbing through the window, stepped in residue from Cranston's site. If so, the climb was tricky. Whoever did it needed height or assistance. Ambrose's cane, Rosalind's stepstool, Benny's ladder, they could all serve. But who had motive aligning with expertise? Elsa Wainwright, the preservationist, had motive: budget crisis. Rosalind sought calm via lavender oil and was near event stress. Benny, earnest but underappreciated, knew library layout intimately. Quill needed a dramatic flourish. Ambrose loved spectacle. Maribel checked her watch. 5:15 p.m. Doors for the gala would open at 7. She had less than 2 hours to rescue the evening. A sharp rap on her office door made her jump. Benny slipped inside, hair tousled. "Miss Finch, I found something." He produced a small square of folded parchment. She unfolded it to reveal a missing corner from the map, the paper's creamy surface etched with the letter Q in brown ink. Benny's hands trembled. "Where did this come from?" Maribel whispered. "In the trash bin under the mezzanine," he replied. "I was tossing ivy clippings and saw it." The mezzanine overlooked the vault staircase. Who had lingered there? Before she could ask, the building's lights flickered. Rosalind's voice echoed over the PA, announcing a last call for staff to clear the floor. Benny backed towards the door. "I have to finish candle duty." Maribel watched him go, mind reeling. Why would somebody tear a corner from the map? Either a souvenir or a test. An idea approached like dawn. If the thief planned to return the map before the gala to stage a dramatic recovery, they might remove a small piece as insurance, proof of possession. That trick smelled of theatrical flair. Who relished the spotlight? Ambrose Talcott. Maribel hurried to the lobby, scanned the swirling activity. Ambrose lounged near the card catalogue, regaling a junior trustee with tales of Caribbean storms. His cane leaned against the oak. Tied to its handle was a sprig of dried lavender. She crossed to him. "Mr. Talcott, delightful to see you again. You toured the vault Monday?" "Indeed," he said, puffing his chest. "Dr. Quill indulged my fondness for cartography. And tonight you'll surely delight in the map's return." Ambrose's eyebrows rose. "Return? Has something been misplaced?" Maribel held out the torn corner. "Lost items often leave breadcrumbs. This one led to you." A hush settled over their immediate circle. Ambrose's ruddy cheeks paled. I know nothing of that scrap. Lavender on your cane matches, residue on the vault lock," she continued quietly. "Mud on your shoes came from Cranston's forecourt, characteristic adhesive flecks, and your height and agility would suit a window climb." At that moment, Dr. Quill appeared, expression stormy. "Ambrose, please tell me you didn't—" Ambrose wavered, then exhaled. "Percy, forgive me. It was meant to be a flourish. I hoped to discover the map halfway through dessert, thereby electrifying the donors and doubling their gifts. The map is in my overnight bag at the Riverstone Hotel, perfectly safe." Quill's face went from crimson to paper white. Guests milled within earshot. Rosalind's jaw pulled tight. Officer Pike, summoned by Maribel's discreet text, stepped forward. "Mr. Talcott, you'll accompany me, please." Ambrose sputtered. "Surely a misunderstanding. My motives were pure." "Pure theatrics," Pike said, gently but firmly guiding him towards the entrance. Maribel felt both relief and unease. The villain seemed unmasked, Gala saved, unless there was more. She glimpsed Benny on the second-floor balcony, staring at the scene, eyes shining oddly. She climbed the staircase. "Benny!" He flinched. "Did they catch him?" "Yes," she replied, though doubt flickered. Why had Benny found the corner, not security? Why had he carried it to her, ensuring she'd confront Talcott publicly? Suddenly Benny's shoulders sagged. "I didn't mean for him to be arrested. I only wanted the map protected." "You're the one who noticed Ambrose plotting?" He nodded. "Yesterday I overheard him bragging to Dr. Quill about a grand reveal." Dr. Quill sounded hesitant. "I was worried they'd risk the map." Tears blurred his glasses. So I picked the gate lock this morning, switched the map with a facsimile Dr. Wainwright keeps for teaching. Then I put the real map in the genealogy case upstairs, safer, locked tight, while I decided who to trust. Maribel's mouth fell open. You replaced it with a fake? He nodded sheepishly. I planned to return the original before anyone noticed, but Mr. Talcott beat me to the vault and stole my facsimile. I guess he never realized it wasn't real. Realization dawned. The building held 3 copies now. The original hidden by Benny, the facsimile in Ambrose's possession, and the torn scrap in Maribel's pocket. A muffled commotion rose from the foyer. Officer Pike redirected Ambrose toward campus security's van. If the police examined the facsimile, they would know instantly it wasn't 18th century parchment. Talcott's scheme would unravel, but Benny's secret would surface too, and the original map would remain missing hours from Gala time. Maribel inhaled, steadying herself. Benny, show me where you put it. He led her through twisting stacks to the genealogy room, silent save for the hum of climate control. Inside a wooden display case, beneath World War I enlistment ledgers, rested the Northland Survey, rolled and tied with cotton ribbon. Maribel's knees nearly gave. "You extraordinarily reckless child," she breathed, though affection coloured her scold. "I'm sorry," he said. "We have 20 minutes, she calculated, glancing at the wall clock. "Help me mount it, properly this time." Working with choreography born of adrenaline, they donned gloves, transferred the map onto a panel, sealed it in its mylar sleeve, then manoeuvred it onto a trolley. Meanwhile, Maribel texted Officer Pike. "Confirm authenticity before charging. Stand by." They arrived in the reading hall just as chandeliers dimmed and string quartet tuned. Rosalind met them at the dais, eyes wide. "Change of decor," Maribel whispered. "Cue spotlight." Rosalind nodded, drawing the curtain on a polished mahogany pedestal. As light cascaded over the true Northland Survey, the audience gasped, a collective inhalation of centuries. Cell phones emerged like periscopes. The Dean clasped Maribel's hand under cover of applause. Officer Pike slipped beside her. Facsimile retrieved, charges downgraded, Talcott mortified but cooperative. Your student assistant? "Benny will write an essay on chain of custody," Maribel answered wearily, "and enroll in ethics of preservation next semester." Pike chuckled. "Fair enough." Across the hall, Dr. Quill raised a glass in silent gratitude. Elsa Wainwright hovered near the pedestal, beaming at humidity monitors that blinked green. Rosalind, freed from Lavender's crutch, moved through the crowd like a conductor, orchestrating hors d'oeuvres and caviar spoons. Later, when champagne dwindled and the quartet packed their cases, Maribel descended to the quiet of the closed stacks. She found Benny waiting near the lion-headed water fountain. "I resigned from ladder duty," he admitted. "Figured I owed you honesty." "You owe me a new batch of early morning inventory logs," she said gently. "But tonight you also saved a priceless artifact from a different kind of harm." "Do you think I could study conservation?" he asked, hope flickering. "I think you already have the heart for it," she replied. "Now you just need the training and permission." He grinned. Above them, Ellery Library resumed its ancient hush, candles snuffed, donors gone. The brass clock chimed midnight. Maribel pocketed the vault key, feeling its reassuring weight. The map slept once more in the vault, where it belonged, cradled by stone and silence. Outside, the river murmured. Autumn leaves brushed windowsills. Somewhere in the reading hall, a scrap of lavender drifted from an abandoned boutonniere, its fragrance fading into the night. Mystery solved, but in Ellery Library, like in every repository of stories, another adventure always waited in the shadows between shelves, patient as knowledge itself.